Hello everyone, and this is my review for WWE NXT on February 8th, 2017. And this was a surprisingly good NXT, even though they're not really building up towards the next takeover outside of maybe the tag team title areas, which we had an interesting bit with later on in the show. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But this show revolved more around Sanity and the aspect of Nigel McGuinness now being part of the commentary team. First of all, throughout the entire show, I like the aspects of Nigel McGuinness. I did not get to see a lot, if any, of his ring announcing or his announcing during his time in Ring of Honor, but I'm getting I got a taste of it obviously with the UK tournament and a little bit more now. I like this style in the UK tournament. He kind of just kept it to calling the action and making it come off as a competition. I like the aspect here though that he brings that dynamic, which some people I guess might have been worried about, that he's going to lean more towards the heels more than towards the faces, which would have made a completely face commentary team at that point with Phillips and Phillips is could be the neutral ground guy, I guess, in that one. But you had Phillips, Percy Watson, and Nigel McGuinness, and there was a chance that there could have been three people that would have leaned towards the face side. But it looks like he's going to be aiming more towards the heel side of things, and I thought the commentary came off rather well this week. I thought it was a pretty good showing through Nigel McGuinness' side, and he's establishing himself as the new heel commentator on the booth. So a good way of going. So first match of the show, they started off with Sanity going up against the Bollywood Boys. Sanity wins this one. Really quick, really simple. Matter of fact, they even put over Killian Dane even more on the aspect of, and I like how the announcers even said it in there. It's like, Alexander Wolf didn't even get in the match at all. Just Killian Dane taking out everybody. And it was a good way of going. It was a good way of going. It builds up Killian Dane more, and it builds up Sanity as like this ultra threat, like an ultra threat. And we see a little bit more later on, which I'll talk about here in a few minutes. Just because after that particular match, Liv Morgan went up against Billie Kay. Liv Morgan went over in this match, and I was not too thrilled with this match. I thought it was kind of clumsily done, where these two have shown improvements before, but this was not that good of a match in every way. Like I said, it felt like it didn't feel like it was clumsy by any stretch. I said clumsy earlier, but it wasn't clumsy. It was just kind of someone would do the move or do their move, and as they're going for the pin, it's like they kind of stand there for a couple seconds, like, what do I do next? What do I do next? Type feel. Now, Grant, that's developmental, and that's what you're gonna get sometimes, and that's what we got here. So I gotta say, this match was kind of meh. Nothing was really messed up by any stretch of the imagination, but it didn't come off all that well either. So up next was Ty Dillinger cutting a promo. He was cutting a promo on this aspect because after the match with the Bollywood Boys, Sanity, Eric Young cut a promo saying that Ty Dillinger, you belong in Sanity. I'm not asking, I'm telling you now that you're going to be part of Sanity in every way. And of course, Dillinger during his promo was like, no, I'm not going to join Sanity. As he was going to go on to go towards another subject, Sanity attacks him, and they they attack him, and the fight goes out into the ring area where, obviously the numbers game was not in Ty Dillinger's favor. He fights him off a little bit, but then gets overwhelmed. But this actually brings out a little bit of weirdness because they had never really worked together before. But Ty Dillinger gets saved by Roderick Strong and No Way Jose, which led to a 6-man tag match for later on in that night, which I'll talk about a little bit later again. So they cut to backstage. William Regal is cutting not cutting a promo, but Regal's in his office making an announcement saying that next week Tyler Bate was going to defend the UK title against Trent Severn at the NXT arena. So the first UK title match is going to be defense is going to happen next week within NXT. So I like the aspect that they're using NXT as a way to get things going with the UK participation of everything. And obviously they're going to keep it towards whenever it looks like they're going to just keep everything towards the UK wrestlers facing the UK wrestlers within that division. But it looks like the UK division is going to go through NXT for the time being until they do something on the aspect of maybe having a full-on weekly show within the UK with these guys. And I love the aspect because they had two promos throughout the entire night. One with obviously Tyler Bate, and talking about his age being 19. He reviews it as a number and everything like that, and he comes off as this overly babyface, but he also goes on the aspect that he can, they try to pitch him as a guy who can kind of knock out anybody at any time. I love the aspect with Trent Severn that he brought that name that they used in WCPW. I might have been throughout the entire aspect of the UK. I've only really seen some of the WCPW stuff. I haven't seen a lot of the other areas. But they brought up the aspect that both of these guys were tag team partners, and they brought up the name Mustache Mountain, which is a great name for a tag team, by the way. So he brought that into there as well, and the promos came off really well. And it'll be interesting to watch that match next week between the two of them. And like I said, I liked how the announcers brought it off as that these two guys were tag team partners at one point too, so they played off of that. Up next was Heavy Machinery going up against the Revival, and this match wasn't too bad. Actually, this match was actually kind of good. Heavy Machinery came off looking really well. I forget their names off the top of my head, but they were part of the Dusty Classic, and they looked pretty good in the one match that they had there. But now they had another match, and they're continually to look like they're getting better and better. And now they have the team named Heavy Machinery. The Revival goes over in the end, and they cut a promo at the end of the match, basically challenging the Authors of Pain to a tag team title match in that sense. So it's almost like a potential of a heel program. But I like the aspect that the Authors of Pain come down. No promos cut or anything. They come out, they come to the ring. The Revival just leaves, and it's like, okay, it looks like the typical, they back off after making the challenge, so okay, they start walking up the rampway, and as they have their back turned, the Revival attacks them and runs off. I like this aspect. It plays off of the Revival a little bit, and it looks like this is what we're going to be getting with the Revival for the time being, where they're going to still be down in NXT working a program, maybe with the Authors of Pain, or maybe it's going to be a triple threat with DIY, the Revival and the Authors of Pain. But it does not look like they're going to make their main roster debuts, at least not until after WrestleMania. That's what it looks like. I mean, they could still do something, because there were some people saying that, maybe they bring the Authors of Pain, or not the Authors of Pain, but the Revival up for Elimination Chamber or something in that sense. I did not believe that was going to happen to begin with, and this kind of solidifies that. This kind of solidifies that a little bit. So up next was Bobby Roode's NXT Championship celebration. Not much to say about this one because no one interrupts him or anything in that sense. You don't have an interruption from Shinsuke Nakamura. They're still playing off of the knee injury angle from the TakeOver match, and no one else comes out to really go get in Roode's face. This was just a really good heel promo from Bobby Roode. He did a good. That's basically all you got to say about it. It's like, I like how he plays it off at the beginning. It's like, I don't want to be that, or it's like, I don't like being that guy that says I told you so. It's like, wait a minute, totally that guy, and then goes about it. So good heel promo here. I thought it was a a good one, but nothing really to say about it because no one interrupts to go along with it. And up next was the main event of the night, which was Ty Dillinger, Roderick Strong, and No Way Jose going up against Sanity. And again, they put Sanity over big as a threat to anybody who wants to team up against them in this match. And they put over Killian Dane even a little bit more here towards the end of the match to go along with it. I thought this was a good 6-man tag match. All sides kind of got to be able to do their own thing. Roderick Strong gets to bring out, like, he does one of his different variations of the backbreaker on Killian Dane, which just looked great, and it's like, whoa, okay, that guy comes off a lot stronger than what he looks in a match and everything in that sense. So like, everybody kind of had a chance to look good here, and I like the aspect of Sanity going over. Again, they're pushing them as this super threat as a group in some way. So, you know, they're doing a relatively good job on that side of everything. I thought, like I said, I thought that match was enjoyable. When I read the spoilers, it's like, oh, this is gonna kind of be a skippable NXT, but it turned out to be a relatively good one to go along with it. It's like one of those moments, like, I'm glad I decided to watch this one because this was actually a pretty good show this week. So, with that being said, everybody, that is my review for WWE NXT. I thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great day.